I'm just leaving Walmart right now, and I don't know why this came to me, and I said, let me not forget about this. So let me just literally record it right now as I'm on my way home. What I was thinking is, and let me think for a second, why did that even come up in my head? I was thinking that social media, like when you unfriend someone or block someone, I know that nowadays people take that really harshly, and I understand because I've done that before too. When I notice somebody has taken me off, I get kind of like, oh my god, like they don't like me, or what did I say, or what, and it's like, I think we're starting to change our idea of what that means just a little bit, because I think it's still normal for it to sting us a little bit, because we get a little bit self-conscious, like why. But I think also too, I think now that self-care and mental health and how you feel is gaining so much more attention now, that I think sometimes it's just necessary to take somebody off of your social media. And before, where it was viewed very like childish, like, oh my god, you're so mature that you took me off, I don't think that anymore. Now I'm like, yeah, if somebody is bothering you, or you're not cool with somebody, or even just like their content is not serving you, or whatever the reason, even if it's just flat out that you're being insecure about something and you just don't want them to see your stuff, like even if it's that, take them off, and there's nothing wrong with it, and you should not like feel bad or embarrassed or anything like that, because I look at it like you're just doing what you need to do to protect your peace and stay peaceful within you. Because if you're look, we all spend a lot of time on social media, okay? I know for me, I spend a lot of time on social media, and I don't always like it. Sometimes I'm actually kind of ashamed of how much time I spend on social media. But for the most part, we're all pretty addicted to this shit. Like, we're addicted to social media, our phones, all of it. So if we're going to be spending that much time on social media, why would you have somebody that's not making you feel good on your timeline, or on your feed, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? That's just dumb. Like, and here's where it gets tricky, because it's such a big part of our lives now, but then we also still are responsible for differentiating social media reality and real world reality. Like, we're not always who we are on social media. I know people who their social media, like sometimes I have to mute them, because their content is just very like, where it's kind of like, oh my god, here we go again, like the same old thing. We're all guilty of that, and sometimes you just might feel the type of way about somebody. It might be maybe a phase that you're going through in your life, where something that they're posting is like not really something that you want to read or see on a daily basis, and you need to take them off, or you need to mute them. You know what I mean? Like, but going back to what I was saying before, like some people's posts on social media are very different from how they are in real life, and I have had this with, like, you could say family members. Like, there's some family members, like distant family members or whatever, that they are always posting a certain topic on their social media, and sometimes it's like, oh my god, like this again, and like, I guess you could say it gets kind of like a little bit annoying. But then when I see them at the family party, like, they're cool as fuck, and I like sitting there talking to them, and they make me laugh, and like we have a good conversation. And so I'm realizing that we're not who we are on social media. There's a real version of us in real life, and then there's a social media version of us, and they don't always match. And probably a lot of us, I would say, are actually kind of living a lie, because how many of us are truly embodying the stuff that we put online? Like, there's so many like articles and studies about how social media, our pages, is a highlight reel. Like, we're obviously all putting the best of ourselves on social media, but that's not real life. That's not really who we are. Like, we're not posting like me yesterday. Like, I had an off day yesterday where I was like not as patient, and I just wasn't feeling as vibrant as I have been. But yet I woke up in the morning, did my makeup, curled my hair, which why would I curl my hair? But I just felt like curling my hair. I felt like looking extra yesterday. I took a picture smiling with my baby, and I could easily post that and make it look like I just have it all together, and that my life is just so amazing, which it is. But what I'm saying is that we still have bad days where we cry, where we look shitty, we're not in good moods, but it's so easy to just smile for a picture, post it with a happy-go-lucky caption, and make it look like everything is perfect. But that is not real life, and we need to always be aware of that. I think sometimes we drift off too far where we forget that, and that's when we start comparing and we start taking social media for real life, and we just always have to remember that it's not real life. So again, going back to the original topic of the video, sometimes you just need to part ways with somebody's social media persona, but that doesn't mean that you can't be cool, civil, respectful in real life. And I think we need to just now like separate those two, and just that's what it is. And unfortunately, sometimes that's family too. Like sometimes even your own family members, you may need a break from them, you know. Thank God that now they are coming out with more ways to not see somebody's stuff without unfriending them. I noticed that in the past few months that even Instagram and Facebook have ways that you can just mute someone where their stuff does not come up, but you're still friends. So that's cool. Like sometimes you just mute somebody, maybe take a little bit of break, come back when you're ready. Maybe you never come back. Unfortunately, again, the unfriending is still going to sting people, and I think that that's something that's probably not going to go away. But we just have to remember, this is something I've been telling myself for the past like few weeks, is like, we're not for everyone and everyone is not for us, and that's okay. So I understand why it stings. I think it's going to keep stinging, and I think it's normal. But I also think that we have to try to see it from a different light and just realize that social media is not real life. You can still be friends with somebody in real life, and you don't have to be friends on Facebook or on Instagram. And we just have to try to keep the peace. I agree with keeping the peace with everybody, but now I'm just more all about keeping peace within yourself, because we have to be happy and we have to be peaceful, and it's not fair for anybody to be thinking about somebody else while they're on social media. Like social media, I think, is meant to be fun. It's meant to be a way to connect with people. It's meant to be a way to express yourself. And if having somebody on your feed or friend list or whatever is interfering with that, then you need to do something about it. It's not childish. It's not immature. It's just you doing what you need to do. At least that's just how I'm thinking of it right now, based on things that I've been through in the past couple years, and just new insights that I'm, digesting and stuff. And it's just so interesting how social media has just taken over so much of us and so much of our lives. So if you're feeling like right now, like, there's somebody that you would probably prefer to have off, maybe just start with muting them. Maybe that's just a better solution as opposed to going straight to the delete and block, or if you really feel strongly like, I just need this person, I need them to just be non-existent on virtual reality world, then just trust your gut, do it. Yes, there's probably going to be some consequences, like that person's probably going to be hurt, and maybe there might be a little bit of drama, but just don't partake in the drama. Just make it simple, and just make, like, I just felt like it was just better. It was just better that way. Like, or you can even say, like, I'm just going through some stuff where I'm just working on myself, and it was just better that way. Like, let's just not make it a big, huge deal. And vice versa, if you see that somebody has taken you off, it's going to sting a little bit. Let it sting for a second, but then just take a deep breath and remember that, again, we're not always who we really are in real life on social media. So maybe that person is disliking you or just needing a break from you, but based on your social media content, it doesn't necessarily mean that you as a person in real life are not a good person or you're not likable. So just try not to like take it so hard and so personally and let it get you down. Just say, you know what? Maybe it's just what they needed to do for themselves. Maybe it's just better this way. We can still be friends and be respectful and be civil in real life. Internet is not real life. So that's just kind of what was on my mind right now. And I honestly don't even know why. I don't really know what triggered me to think about this topic, but I just wanted to kind of like get that out there. And just also remember that like it takes time sometimes to just like sort through your feelings and understand why you're feeling type of way. And it takes us a whole lifetime to, really figure out who we are, because we're constantly changing and we're constantly growing based on our experiences and based on situations that we go through with people, with ourselves, with the world. So just have some compassion for yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. And let's also try not to be so hard on other people, even though that's hard, because, you know, when they push a button, it's easy for us to be like, I don't like her. She's so mean. Why would she say this? Why would she do this? She should have known how it was going to make me feel. And the truth is like, no, if you really take all your emotion out of it and you sit there and you really think about stuff, it's like, it's never just black and white. Like, there's always reasons for things, and sometimes our emotions just take over us, and that's normal. Like, that's normal human life, and I for sure am guilty of that. So that's kind of what I'm working on now, is trying to just take a step back, take a deep breath, think of things more logically without so much emotion, because I think emotion is just what complicates everything. So I'm trying to get to a place where I am not completely unbothered, because as I've been talking to my therapist, like, that's not realistic. We are social creatures, and it's unrealistic of us to go through life thinking that nobody's ever going to say or do anything that's going to bother us, because that whole, she didn't make you feel, you let her make you feel, or whatever. It's like, I'm realizing now, and again, with the help of my therapist, realizing that's kind of a way to self-blame a little bit, because it's like, you're just taking all of the blame for something somebody else did, because, oh, well, it's my core beliefs that brought me to be upset and overall. But it's like, you know what? That's not realistic. We can't go our whole lives just self-blaming ourselves for every situation. Sometimes somebody might say something that's kind of effed up, and it actually might be universally effed up, where even somebody else who maybe didn't even have that same experience still might be like, oh, well, that wasn't cool of her to say, or of her to do, or him to do, or him to say. So we can't just go through our lives self-blaming. Most of us have good gut instincts, and we have to trust them. Most of us are very decent people with very good hearts and very good intentions, and that still, sometimes people are going to push our buttons and piss us off, and sometimes we're still gonna get annoyed and whatever. It's like, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. I don't know if anybody needed to hear this today, but this is just something that's been on my mind. It just hit me right now why, but you know what, it's not even necessary to go into it. But I just wanted to put this out there in case anybody else was like kind of sitting in this kind of situation too. Just let it go. Just say, you know what, it's social freaking media. It's not real life. It's okay. We're okay. Everything's okay. The world will keep turning, and peace will still exist, and happiness is still around you. So let's just try to relax, let's just try not to take every single thing so personally and make it such a humongous big deal. If that's something that you've been doing your whole life, it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. It just takes practice. So just use this, whatever you're going through right now, just try to take it like, okay, this is a time for me to practice how I want to respond to things, or how I want to think about things in a new way. So don't revert back to your old unhealthy bad habits, because then you're just going to keep going around in the circle, and it's never going to end. It's not going to end until you recognize what you're doing, and until you do something different. Okay, so I think Elijah's asleep. I'm gonna go inside because I'm starving. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. Not just on social media. I hope you have a great, amazing day in real life too. Okay, peace out.